Hardy. I don't know. That's how you say it, but it sounds pretty good. Is it to start the starters or not to start the starters? NFL Wildcard. Let's go. Victory Mondays.
From the city of brotherly love. All day, baby. You know that.
Let's hunt.
If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground.
Where are you going? I'm going to pick a fight.
Get up, nothing!
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
Let the games begin.
This is where we hold them! This is where we fight! This is where they die!
Money is nice, championships are better.
The regular season is over. The real season begins, and it starts this weekend for NFL Wildcard action. I am Moss Money. I'm the host and CEO, president, all that good stuff. And of course, I got my right-hand man guy with me, the GM himself, Ernie B. What's up, bro?
We made it.
Yeah, long season.
Yeah, we made it, man.
A lot of football.
A lot of talking, a lot of shows we'd like to get back. But, I mean, happy to be here, happy to talk playoffs, happy to talk shit about the Niners.
Playoffs?
I mean, this is – I think just for a second, I just want to acknowledge, on air, like, this is the greatest run in Eagles history. Like, it's – I mean, the numbers would say it's never going to be any better than this in our lifetimes, that this is kind of it. Early 2000s were great, but this is better. And the fact that they're on this kind of run right now is insane.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And the fact that we're brushing playoffs off, like it's just, you know what I mean? Like, oh, playoffs, 3 seed, 2 seed, what are you talking about? We got to fine tune this thing. Like, come on. Man.
Yeah, man, let's get right into it, man. Let's jump in right into it so we can so there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of noise about the decision, I would call it, the decision to either rest the starters or not rest the starters. And for me, I understand why they didn't. They're following the blueprint that got them to the bowl. That's really what it is. Do we remember last year, right? Do we remember 2 years ago, right? 2022, if I'm not mistaken, season. They got to the bowl because they either had a bye or they rested their starters, which essentially gave them a bye week going into the playoffs. That is the concept. That is the thought process that was behind it. I heard Jordan Mailata speak. A lot of people spoke. From the players internally, they don't give a shit, right? They don't care what they play. Game 1 has got to be in Philly, regardless, right? Now, I get the idea of securing two, especially when it was in striking distance, especially when the Detroit Lions handled the business that maybe you thought or maybe you didn't thought that was going to happen. Detroit won, so it opened up the window for you to get the second seed and have everybody but Seattle have to come through Philly, right? I get it. I get the sense of urgency there of wanting to do that, but I want as many people, as many bodies I can get healthy for round 1, right? And for the playoff run. That is what is important. That is what we need. We need everybody who's nicked up. I mean, you got to think about it. I think you said this a while ago. From last year to this year, and even years, they've been on late runs in the playoffs. It's a lot of football these cats have been playing.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of football, right? Oh, yeah. Not a lot of time off in between, right? So when you think about that, how much miles on their body that they have between these last 2 years, like you said, an incredible run. but the incredible run also takes a toll, right? It takes a toll on the body. So as much as you can get these guys off their feet, as much as you can get these guys not having to play football for a quote unquote meaningless game, then I'm all for it, man. I don't have a problem with it. I know, Seth Joyner bothers me. He does, man. He just bothers me, right? He bothers the hell out of me, man. I don't know what it is about him, but it's like one of them cats that you knew on the team that was kind of good, but he just talked too goddamn much. Like, shut up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean, like, were you, like, I know I was a Seth Joyner fan, but I don't feel like he was like a legend. Like, some people put him in that, like, he was good
legend than he is a football legend. I mean,
but like who are you, bro? Like, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? Like, I don't remember you having this amazing mind or anything like that. You were a decent player here.
Let me interject for 1 second.
I got
the same energy you give Cam Newton, and I'm talking to the fans here. This isn't between me and you.
Yeah.
The same energy you give Cam Newton, you should give to Seth Joyner. Because if you're really upset when people talk sideways, don't give him a pass because he played for the team and is from the city.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you this. I think he has his points, but I also think that how do you go to that locker room and tell them, like, yeah, we're playing Josh Johnson and the Commanders? Because let's think about how this team genuinely, like, operates, right? Like, we need to be clear. They thought they were going to win the game with the backups. They thought they were going to win that game. They did not think they needed.
I thought they were going to win the game too.
I did too. I mean,
I was like, I think this team, and I thought more starters were going to play than they did, to be honest.
I think you'd be surprised about the snap counts. If you looked at the snap counts, they played guys. Certain guys played more than you would have thought.
I thought defensively they would have had a little bit more starters play defensively, but that just wasn't the case.
Yeah, I think the glaring issues are we're not as deep in the offensive line like we used to be. Matt Myers,
I got
Malu, Halapulu, Vaitai is not here. Like these guys are not there. I kind of want to pump the brakes on the McKee hatred here, like the hate coming
that
his
was
way.
quick.
Yeah, that's just he
didn't have his best game.
No, he did not have a good game. I don't even want to say he had a good game. He looked uncomfortable from the first snap from the first drive. And the only thing I could say is point the finger at the guys calling the offense, Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni.
A lot of people saying that.
I just didn't, my thing was though, like, these were 2s and 3s. So when 2s and 3s play another team's 1, I don't care if they're 4 and 12 or whatever it is. I don't care if they're 1 and 100. They're an NFL team, and these are grown men getting paid to do what they do.
Yeah,
and they don't want to get embarrassed. So when Josh Johnson rolls to the left and freaking Keely Ringo just disregards it and turns to find his man, and then he waltzes into the end zone like it's nothing. You don't think Josh Johnson's going to remember that? That's huge for him. I mean, this guy is playing, at 39 years old as a journeyman quarterback, been on 13 different NFL teams, second stint with Washington. Beating Philadelphia is big for him. He now gets to tell his children, it doesn't matter if they played the freaking backups. They were the Super Bowl defending champions.
Yeah, he was jamming.
When we talk about history, see, people like to talk about history, but then they want to fine comb history. We don't ever fine comb history. It's about results. It's a results-based business. They lost the football game.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with playing the starters. They could have played the starters and still lost the football game. If they would have played the starters and lost the football game, we would be driving this train, off the cliff. They didn't. I think they did the right thing. I think that if there's 2 guys that I can name deserve this more than anybody, it was Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson. Because they have been battling major injury this year. They've been playing through it. They've been sucking it up. And just to give them a week off, maybe Saquon breaks a big one this week. And it's purely the fact that Cam and Landon had time to rest. It has nothing to do with the scheme. It has nothing to do with any of that. I think Greg Cosell said it best after the Buffalo game. At some point, this elite offensive line needs to start playing like it. And until they do, we are not going to see this offense operate like we've seen in the past.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point. And again, just reiterating the fact of resting the guys that need the rest.
There's guys that need rest, and there's guys real quick. I had a text over the weekend, and it was just worded very simple. There are guys that need rest, and there are guys that need reps. This was a week for the guys that need reps.
You know who needs reps? Actually, he don't need no reps. He needs to take his ass somewhere else. This guy, Jesus Christ! Like, yo, it's got to be a meme.
The bad part is he was better than Bennett. Bennett was worse.
Yeah, Bennett was bad.
Bennett was worse.
Bennett was bad.
This is the meme, but Bennett was worse.
Yeah, Bennett was bad. Bennett was bad.
He tackled McLaurin after 5, 6. It was like 8 yards up the field. Just tackled him.
I think they had over 100 yards in penalties in like the third quarter, and he had like 5 of them or 4 of them.
I believe the count was 3 from Bennett, 1 from Ringo, 1 from McWilliams, which is just let's pump the brakes in the Adoree Jackson hate because
right.
I mean, we see what's after. I do want to say, though, I really want to go back to this, not just the offensive line. I do think this team, I don't want to dwell too much in this game because, again, it is a meaningless game. But this roster is not as deep as we have been in years past.
No, it's not.
And we're oddly deep at certain positions. I'm 29 years old. As long as I've been a fan of the Eagles, as long as I've been able to count, I could say. And we've never been a strong team at inside linebacker. Even the Jeremiah Trotter days, we were heavy right here. Jared Trotter, Hugh Douglas, we were right there. But the depth, there was a drop-off. I think this is the deepest inside linebacker room the Eagles have had in Jeffrey Lurie's ownership. To be able to go from Zach Bond to Kobe Dean to first-round pick Jahad Campbell, you can take the first-round pick out of it. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. played awesome. To the point that Smile Mondon didn't even get to play, and Mondon's a player. He's been good on special teams. You go to the practice squad, they have this kid, Chance Campbell, who's been going around a while, spent some time with the Titans. Saquon said he's the best scout team player he's ever played against in his life.
I ain't saying much.
I'm just speaking on the fact of where we are weighted heavily via the roster, right?
We are.
Would you say we have probably the deepest running back room we've had in years?
Yeah, and I think to Marcus's point, Tank wasn't eating, right? He was concise.
Tank Bigsby was a 4th-round pick out of Florida with nothing but talent, dude. Yeah. Nothing but talent. Tank Bigsby was very good coming out of college. And if I get that pick wrong, I remember it. I'm pretty sure his 4th round could be higher, but I'm pretty sure it was a 4th-round pick out of Florida. And he went out there and he's had juice. He had fumbling issues. That was what it was. He had fumbling issues. And Jamal Singleton is a great coach of the wrist lock. And I mean, that little duck under that he had, where he kicked it back to the outside.
Yeah. No, he showed what you saw in college, right? He saw bursts, strength.
What I'm saying is, where this team, in years past has had a lot of depth at the offensive line. If you're wondering why it's not there, it's because look at the running back room, look at the inside linebacker room, look at the edge rusher room. You know what I mean? We're very heavy in certain places. Look at the quarterback room. I mean, you have Sam Howell as your QB3.
Yeah, who's a starter?
Josh Johnson is what the average QB3 is across the league. Most of the times worse.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Howell is your QB3, who we didn't even see. They didn't even give him a chance. So, this team is very good. They're not as deep as they have been in the past, but yet again, they are healthy as can be going into the playoffs. Yet again, healthy as can be going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that's vital.
That is out right now is Andrew Makuba as far as starters go.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Dean's going to play in this game.
So because Dean didn't start the regular season, Campbell is technically the week 1 starter.
Yeah.
So he's the original 22.
Yeah.
So if Campbell starts, Dean or Campbell, it doesn't matter. You're fine.
Baseball 9, thanks for jumping on. I see you said you got to go real quick. I feel like my favorite team is could beat the Niners, but it'll be a great game no matter what. Appreciate you jumping in and dropping a comment there, bro. I do think it matters, though. because I think this defense took on a different tone with N'Kobe in there versus Campbell. And I think Campbell, even though he's more athletic, seems a little bit more liable in coverage. And it's not because of his athleticism.
It's just hesitancy. It's
exactly.
Young. It's just
exactly. Like N'Kobe knows where to go. Like he knows.
He's so long and rangy. You can tell when he thinks, if you know what I mean. Like when you slow his movements down, you can tell when he thinks.
Yeah.
He does a lot of thinking.
So it's a great point. It's the instinct, right? N'Kobe's instincts are just better. Hands down.
N'Kobe's one of the most instinctive linebackers in the league, like by far. I mean, it's not even close. I mean, this guy was regarded as one of the best off-ball linebackers after his first season. ESPN does the list where they'll talk to executives and GMs around the league, and they list the best players at their position. N'Kobe Dean was an honorable mention last year.
No, do tell. Offense is the worst. Do tell. Nathan A. Manning.
I mean, that's, it's kind of funny because I was reminded of something fun today, that, gets lost in the wind, definitely. But in 2023, we had a top 10 offense. The defense was bad.
Yeah.
The defense was really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
the defense was the worst it's been. Like, I mean, we're just talking about inside linebacker. Like I have nightmares of Nicholas Morrow and Zach Cunningham. So I don't, we don't.
Odie's Bagodi names.
To talk about it's like a luxury, Yes, it is, but we've never had anything like this. Even Oren Burks last year, did he fill in for the Super Bowl run for Dean? Perfect. Yes. You got a first-round pick. Like you just said, it's all there. You can see the kid. I'm not saying this kid's going to be a perennial all-pro or anything like that, but he's going to be a good off-ball linebacker in the league with rushing upside. He has it in his frame. He has it to do great things. Are his instincts a little? Does he question things? Yeah, and you can see it. That's fine.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. No,
you can see him hesitate. Yeah. His hesitancy is there. You watch him. Those arms, when he sits, they're damn near at his freaking ankles because he's built like that. But you watch those arms hesitate. They're, you can see him when you break it down frame by frame. He's thinking too much. Eventually, that's going to go away.
That's
okay.
And he's
going to go.
He's a rookie, but to talk
he
about
was fourth in total tackles on the roster. Didn't play special teams, and lost his starting job when N'Kobe Dean came back.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about how good Dean is, and his limited time, he finished 6th in total tackles for this team. So
yeah, Dean's ridiculous.
And Bond had 123. They're silly at off-ball linebacker. They are silly.
Yeah. And then the talk about, you kind of said something where they're all putting it together. I mean, Jalix, man. I was screaming on the thing against Jalix all year. He is on a heater, whether it be fumbles, interceptions, sacks, disruptions, turnovers. He's on a heater right now, man. And it's going to be a great matchup. I know they move him around a little bit, but it's going to be a great matchup with going him against Trent Williams and seeing how he
Trent will handle business there. But
I think so. But I think if Trent typically wins that matchup 8 out of 10 times, if you can get that down to 7-6 and just be disruptive a little bit, you know what I mean? Then I think
that, those stunts are really going to mess with him. That's where he's been doing really good lately.
Just get him on the move.
Yeah, him and Jomo have they've done a really good job of those TE stunts.
Yeah, get him on the move. But I mean, first player in history of Eagles history to lead him in sacks and picks. Just
Jalix
had a great year.
The funny enough, the note, who had this? Adam Kaplan, Inside the Birds, had the note that he's a year ahead of schedule, and that was their thing. They were like, year ahead of schedule. This guy is he's a year ahead. He's a project player. We all knew he was a project player in the 3rd round. Whatever. Ben, just to move over to the side here, Ben Fennell, who's a really good draft analyst that I follow on Twitter, X, whatever. And he put something up 4 hours ago that I thought was very awesome. It was reflecting back on the 2024 draft from the Eagles. And we're just talking about the first 3 rounds. Round 1, Quinyon Mitchell. Can we both agree top 5 corner?
Absolutely.
Top 5 outside
should be
corner.
all-pro.
Yeah, it should be all-pro this year. Yeah,
should be all-pro this year.
For the nerds out there, you can go to Next Gen Stats. He's top 5 in every advanced metric, maybe top 3 in every advanced metric at this point. The dude has been locked down on his side of the field.
Yep.
Round 2, Cooper DeJean. played 1,000 total snaps.
Might be all pro too.
Easily a top 5 nickel at his position.
Yeah.
Easily, right?
Yeah.
And then in round 3, you had Jalen Hunt, the project player, right? The project. You had these 2 hits. Now we have the project. Technically led the team in QB pressures. I'm not the biggest fan of pressures as a stat. They're kind of skewed. Just to put pressures into perspective, PFF credited Moro Ajomo with 49 QB pressures this year. NFL Next Gen Stats only credited him with 29. So pressures are a bit of a
discrepancy. Yeah.
But the point is feeding into what you led off with. Jalen Hunt is a player.
For sure.
And I genuinely think after this season, it doesn't start till next offseason, but I think his contract extension is now more of a priority than Nolan Smith's. And I think their playing time speaks volumes.
For sure. For sure.
I think Hunt is now more valuable than Jalen Phillips. I do think that. I think that Phillips' body with the injuries and everything, I think that Hunt's upside is just too much. Because what is the ceiling for a player that is a project? Like you let off with. I understand he was playing the Commanders last week, but he dominated that game by himself.
Mm-hmm. He finds a way to disrupt the game. He just does.
And that is exceptional.
Yeah, he just finds a way.
At the position that he is to do what he does to affect the game the way that he does. I'm getting the feeling going into this offseason, Jalen Hunt might be the best edge rusher on this team. And I know we've talked about it. He had the ability to be that guy. And I pounded table for my boy Nolan Smith. The tricep setback was very bad for him. Re-tearing it, he came back too early, And it's, I don't know who, their training staff is phenomenal, but BG and Nolan Smith both retore the triceps. So let's chill out with bringing guys back with the club because it doesn't help. They still tear the triceps.
Yeah.
They've both done it. But Jay looks, I can't say enough about him. I don't think it's necessarily Trent Williams, the matchup that I'm looking for, but like you just said, just affect the game. If you can affect the game in your own way, then I think that speaks volumes to how your development is as a player.
No, I agree. I completely agree. We can get we'll get really. We kind of naturally got into kind of like, I guess, more of like a game preview, right? Talking about matchups.
Of course, but I'm sorry. I'm very excited about Jalen Hunt, man. Like I just when you nail a pick like that in the 3rd round, that I just hope people understand. This kid played at Houston Baptist. This is not a school that you know of or have ever seen play on TV. And he transferred from Cornell as a safety to then play edge rusher. And he looked like a safety on that route to Deebo Samuel, where he dropped off in the flat and jumped the route. That's the type of stuff that Howie Roseman and their staff dreamt about when they drafted this kid. They dreamt about this kind of production. And he's doing it. And like I said, the word on the street is he's a year ahead of schedule. I think he's more than that.
Yeah, he could be. Could be looking at a Pro Bowl, next year, possibly. The way he's playing. Gotta get him to double-digit sacks, and then we'll really start when he starts.
If he could be Andrew Van Ginkel, they've got a nasty player on their team.
Yeah. So we have the San Francisco 49ers traveling to Philly for NFL Wildcard weekend. Game is Sunday, 4:30, if I'm not mistaken.
Sunday 4:30.
Yeah, Sunday 4:30. I think it's a match between 2 AFC games. With the standings as they were last week, with the Niners losing to Seattle, they dropped to 12-5. Eagles did lose, but we already wrapped up the division. We're 11-6, so we got the 6th seed coming to 3, coming to Philly.
The only
love rivalry.
Did you see that? The only team to repeat the division this year?
Yeah.
Every other division had a new winner outside of the NFC.
Yeah.
So this is a wild card year through and through. Chiefs aren't in it. Mahomes is out. This is a wild card year through and through.
Yeah, for sure. First time he hasn't made the playoffs.
Yep.
And on the flip side, Jalen's made the playoffs every year he's been a starter.
10th game between him and Sirianni already. This is gonna be their 10th playoff game.
10th playoff game. Yep. 10th
That's
playoff
impressive.
game.
That's very impressive.
Crazy. And I think he's 3rd. I think he's behind Rodgers and Allen with most playoff wins. I think he has 6. I think Jalen has 6. I
I
thought I saw that stat. And
I have that somewhere in here. You keep talking because I swear I saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. So, we gotta.
It was like a thread, though. It was a.
Yeah, it was a list of all the starting quarterbacks in their playoff wins, and Jalen was. I know Jalen was third.
He was up there, though. No.
I'm pretty sure he was
current
third.
starting quarterbacks. Yes, he was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was third, and he was only one behind Allen. Yes. Allen has 7. And I'm pretty sure.
And they've been comparing those two a lot lately, which I hate, but
yeah, and Rodgers has 11. So, looking at the game, the game's kind of setting up, and I know that you Niners fan out there, it sucks. Come on back to Philly. It just sucks. That's what you guys look like right now, knowing where your team's at, where you got to go, and what you got to deal with, right? We all know the Joey Bosa incident that happened a couple years ago as well. He just doesn't understand in Philly. We just don't give a flying F. Really, who you are.
Vice versa. It's not the same game.
Yeah.
That is why we pound the table so hard for you have to bring it to the link. You gotta come over here.
You gotta come here. And it's not an easy out here. So do you feel that there's like bad blood rivalry in this? Because you're starting to see that kind of narrative as they try to build stories for the playoffs. I get there is some games there, right? We beat them. If you guys remember, Hassan Reddick coming off the edge, took Purdy out. Then who we just lost to, Joe Johnson, got knocked out, and then Purdy came back, and all he could do was hand off, and they just
McCaffrey played quarterback to finish the game.
Yeah, and McCaffrey played quarterback as well in that game, and they were like, it would have been different if we had all our players, and then kind of showed out.
The rule changed. It changed the entire rule because the Niners cried so much.
Yeah, that's right. That is the rule change for the third quarterback.
Yes. They cried so much they changed the fucking rules.
Yeah,
excuse my language. I'm sorry, but yes, they did.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. That is where that came from. And then they did come back. They did beat us up.
Beat the piss out of us.
Yeah, in that game, and then like kind of like, oh, told you type deal. And now we are here again. In the history of Eagles versus Niners, 1-1 right now in the playoffs, NFC Championship game, and then I forget the other game. I think it was an older game though.
I think it was like an NFC Championship with Bill Burry or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Like it was an old game.
Yeah, very
the
old.
last time
they lost, I believe. Yeah, they lost that one.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah. But I know Jalen's 1-0.
Super Bowl 3, Super Bowl 3 or something like that. Yeah,
it was old.
13, something like that. It was old. Yeah, it was very old. But they've only met for the third time all time. So
yeah,
they're gonna have.
So not really a lot there to kind of they're kind of building up the story. But I mean, I guess to the original question though that I was talking about before we get to the matchups and what we're looking at here. Do you feel like it's bad blood between the two teams? Obviously the Greenlaw and Big Dom thing. It's like there are like incidents that happen.
Here's incidents. Greenlaw is not on the team anymore.
Right. Yeah. None of these guys are on the team that were talking smack like that.
Yeah. No. I'm actually a big Dre Greenlaw fan. I hate that what happened between him and Big Dom or whatever. I know he's going through some stuff right now medically. So hope the best is for him.
With his neck, right? Was that his neck issue? I think it was.
Or was he like tested positive for testicular cancer or something like that?
Oh wow!
Greenlaw had some issues, but he's with Denver now, and he's NFL. He's in good hands. But I'll just be honest with you. They don't. The franchises have zero beef. If we want to start here, right? Like owners, they're whatever. Front offices, they work together just fine. Some could say they envy one another because they tend to pick up each other's players after they are released.
Yep. Bryce Huff is over there.
We could go through each practice squad right now. They're flooded with each other, front office guys, coaches, blah 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 blah. Fangio was with the Niners during their last Super Bowl run years ago with Harbaugh. But yes, there is genuine stuff there's some players on both teams that aren't quite fond of each other. And I would say that there's going to be more emotion in this game than there would be playing the Rams. The Rams talk a lot. The Rams like to run their mouths a lot, about certain things. But you saw the way Jalen Carter and Jared Verse ended up coming together, after the regular season game.
Yeah.
There's not really bad blood there. While there's a bit of respect, there's mutual respect. I don't think there's any respect between the Niners and the Eagles. I think that the Niners genuinely feel that they should have had the run that the Eagles had, and the Eagles think that they just need to shut up and quit being crybabies.
I agree.
And they are. And you want me to be honest with you, they're a bunch of crybabies. I think that I'm sick and tired of hearing that this guy.
Oh, what do they call them? The Winers?
The 49ers, dude, because they, the greatest offensive mind of all time. Okay, what did you say earlier about, Seth Jordan? What have you done? What have you done? Yeah. Like, show me what you have done. I'm talking, my whole argument about Nick Sirianni is, what have you done? What has he done? He's got the resume. So you can't argue about it. I mean, 2 Super Bowl appearances. He's only behind George Halas. When we start talking about guys like that, George Halas, Lombardi, we talk about the name the trophy's after. Like, come on, man. This is different level stuff. And the Niners are just, if I had to say who's the best left tackle in the league, it's Trent Williams. Who's the most all-around talented running back in the league? Bijan Robinson. But right now it's Christian McCaffrey. Okay? Like, he's still – I am very firm with you got to beat the best to be the best. I've said that for years on the show. You got to beat the best to be the best. So we wear the crown right now.
Yes, we do.
They act like a franchise that is owed crowns. You know what I mean? Like, they're very Dallas-esque about their past. And I just don't care. I
like it.
Don't care. I don't give a flying F about what you did with Joe Montana, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, and all these greats. That's cool. I get it. Your offense looks good with the Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, this and that, blah, 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 blah. What has he done against this Philadelphia Eagles team? The 2023 defense, we're not going to talk about that. If the Niners want to hang their hat on that game, that's great. Again, we're talking about Zach Cunningham, Nicholas Morrow, Bradley Roby. You know what I mean? Like, you're talking about guys that aren't in the league right now, dude. Guys aren't even in the league.
Talk to them.
They're not even on practice squads.
I like it. Let's go.
They're not.
Let's go.
So
yeah.
If you're going to play a team, and don't get me wrong, the offense is whatever, but you couldn't score points in the Seahawks. What'd you do against the Seahawks? Everyone was talking about Mike McDaniel's defense, which I think is one of the best in the league, and I have a lot of respect for them.
Yeah.
But I think our defense makes Sam Darnold fold. That's a different conversation. But
yes, I agreed.
Brock Purdy has to come to Philadelphia. And I think that's where the national media gets lost on the local media, the transition here, right? Because they forget how important it is when you have to come to Philadelphia. Because those guys aren't putting boots on the ground. The local guys are.
Yeah.
The local guys are talking about how you can't walk to the stadium, bro, without being harassed. You don't get to walk around the city wearing that gear. Not this weekend. No. And if you guys really want to fuck up and touch the Rocky statue, it's over.
Yeah. I don't know why people do that.
Do not give this team gasoline, because they will take it and explode. I don't know if you ever read the Monday Morning Quarterback, but Albert Breer runs it now. And he had the thing about every team's, weakness, strength about playoff teams, right?
Yeah.
And the Eagles' weakness is their uncertainty. What, will Jalen Hurts look like when the lights shine the brightest? I said, that's the dumbest freaking question you've ever asked.
Yes. Agreed.
It's about getting here. I don't worry about him when we're here, because I know that he's what he has to do.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in the matchup
against Buffalo. When the reins were left, go do what you do. Just do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
That pass to AJ is one of the best he's ever made, and he sat there and let that thing hang. You know what I mean? Like that was just. Do we talk about Washington? That whatever, man. San Francisco is going to get that man's best, and like I just said earlier in the show, if Dickerson and Juergens are that much healthier, maybe it's just one game. But watch Saquon break a big one. And if Saquon breaks a big one, it's over. That sideline's going to lose their freaking minds. The stadium will shake if Saquon breaks a big one, because that's what they've been waiting on. And then the media is going to be, Eagles run game, hot again. Who's going to be defending champs? I mean,
We got an Eagle fan jumping in here. The offense is really weak, guys, and you have to admit it. The offense is not what you expected to be.
Not a single piece of it is weak. That's not the way you assess the team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
You have the highest paid offense in all of football. It ain't weak.
Yeah.
Is it not working the way that we want or remembered it to.
Well, not even that. It's coming off last year. Like, look, what we had last year. But it's a new year. It's a new deal.
Like,
it's new scenarios.
The same way that everybody wants to talk about New Year's resolutions and they change their life and they do this, they do that. These guys are human beings, man. Who's to say that maybe a couple of them won the big thing and took a little time off? As far as I know, that's not what happened.
They didn't get a chance to. What was the gap? 2-3 months, and they were right back at it.
They don't even have vacation.
Yeah,
because they're going to the freaking playoffs every year. Every year,
Miles is crazy.
And Jalen Hurts have been together since 2021. They've been in the playoffs. First round exit or not, they have been in the playoffs.
And then 2 of them were deep runs to the Super
Bowls. It's either one and done or Super Bowl with Nick. So if we beat the Niners, we're good. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's not a soul to tell me we can't win it again.
So I think that's another great segue, man. We kind of talked about it in terms of this game, this preview, what you shouldn't be doing if you're wearing gold and maroon or gold and red. But let's talk about the matchups and the key matchups for this game. And kind of ones that at least I picked out, and let me know if there's any ones that I might have missed. But I think you started at we can start at the top and kind of go down, and let's go from even from the sideline first, right? I think this is a big matchup, Fangio versus Shanahan, and they've probably seen each other maybe a couple other times through their history. I didn't go back and find out how many times, but I don't think it's a lot.
Less than you would think that they.
Yeah, I don't think so because Vic was typically was always on AFC.
Fangio's been around a long time,
but Vic's always been kind of on the AFC side, at least the last decade, right? Denver, Miami.
He had the NFC run with the Niners, but he was with the Broncos. Yes, more NFC because he was with Bears, Niners, Broncos. And the Dolphins, you could say, but yeah, I mean, he's been around. He's been around 30 plus years. Dude, Vic's been coaching for over 40 years. I mean, you're talking about the Philadelphia Stars here. Like he's one of those things. Shanahan, I think that the big note here is like I get so sick, and I'm not trying to jumpstart it. I'm just saying I get so sick of hearing how great Shanahan is because I think McVay is better than he is.
So I got to disagree with that one because McVay has who I think, and maybe some people disagree with me. I think McVay has a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, right? But he did it with Goff when Goff was a wash-up.
He did do it with Goff.
He did it with Jimmy Garoppolo, and Garoppolo filled in for
when
Stafford was hurt.
I mean, if you look at Shanahan, I mean, it's not like he's had Jared Goff-like quarterbacks.
Kyle Shanahan has wet dreams about Kirk Cousins. That doesn't mean that he can't get it done. I mean, he hasn't done it. He did it with Jimmy G. He got to the show.
Yeah, he did it. I mean, he did it with a lot. He did it with Jimmy G. He did it with Matt Ryan.
Right after Kaepernick, the run with Harbaugh, Kaepernick, and Fangio, there was Shanahan. They were bad for like not very long.
Yeah,
couple seasons, and then Jimmy G and Shanahan had the run where they played the Chiefs. Chiefs won.
Yeah.
Was that was Mahomes' first, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they either lost to the Bucs or got blown out the year before or the year after, somewhere in that timeline.
But what I'm saying is he's made that offense work.
You can say then they got McCaffrey, so it's not about what he's doing with the quarterback. He is possibly the best weapon in all of football.
That's true. No, I'm not
Kyle
saying that.
Juszczyk, George Kittle, like you know what I mean. John Lynch is good at his job.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Traded for Trent Williams when the league was scared of Trent Williams, and they said that dude is one of the best in the league. We're going to take him in. You know,
but Kyle's a good coach, and I think he is innovative.
Kyle is a good coach.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Kyle's not,
and he can scheme against almost anybody.
All I'm saying is, right now, Vic Fangio, who's one of the greatest defensive minds of all time,
best defensive coordinator in the game right now,
is on one.
Yes,
he is on one right now.
Yes, so we're on the same page.
2 years in a row, we're
going Vic,
and he's got a Dory Jackson playing outside corner, who at the beginning of the year, me and you wanted to burn at the cross. So if you sit there and tell me, oh, well, it's the same guys.
Yeah.
But Vic figures it out.
Yeah. No,
Kyle, in my opinion, does not have the Sirianni level, Mike Tomlin level, Harbaugh level CEO ability to him. I think Kyle Shanahan is Josh McDaniels on steroids. I don't think he's McVay. I don't think he has that in him. I just don't think he does. I don't think he gets guys to run through brick walls like these other guys do. I just don't think he does. And I think that there is a chance Fangio puts him in a freaking blender.
Yeah, so and I think that's where
if Mike McDonald can put him in a blender, you tell me the best defensive coordinator in football can't do it? Vic Fangio is twice Mike McDonald's age.
Yeah, to Kyle, like they're limited, right? They're very limited offensively. They got 2 stars, one coming off an injury. I think in this matchup, I think Vic easily wins this matchup.
He's not going to have to blitz. They're going to stunt. They're going
to
play. They're going to
the way the defense is playing right now. It's a bad matchup.
Yeah,
it's a bad matchup.
They're going to play man.
Yeah, it's a bad matchup.
And I got a feeling certain guy named Reed Blankenship is going to play a couple robber coverages similar to what Gardner Johnson has done for us. And Purdy's going to look for Kittle over the middle on that little crosser. And 32's or 33. DeJean tends to be good at those, but
cookies. Give me that.
I'm telling you, bro. Well, I guess they're milking the cow now. I don't know how.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's coming from, that's a little too much for me. I didn't think that white DBs, man. Hey, I didn't think that white DBs would make being a white DB corny, but they've accomplished that.
They made it work. They made it work.
They've already balled that up and thrown it in the trash can. I was like, oh my God.
So I think that's the biggest matchup on the sideline, right? Is those two of how that chess match.
Fangio in the booth. You remember he's in the booth. He's in that booth. He's a little.
Yeah, it's a different view, but it's still the chess pieces being moved around, and
he's old, dude. He's not trying to be in the weather and all that.
I don't blame him.
I mean, I can't say. I've always wondered about that because I've never really been in a position to call plays. So like the booth to the sideline, like I would think I'd want to be on the sideline, but then again,
I think I want to feel the emotion on the sideline. Yeah,
like the view of the booth is insane.
But I mean, I was a player, so it's just
it's the communication thing. You know what I mean? I just don't. It's odd to me.
I need to be in the trenches. I don't want to be away. I gotta be
able to dap the boys up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
I want to be in the fire.
I'm active.
That's just how I am.
Yeah, but I think the one thing that we should be noted is like, is Saquon Barkley the savior, or is it Vic Fangio? Because I think a little bit after this year, we're 2 years in now. A little bit's Fangio. I mean, this dude has what he has brought to this franchise. I mean,
it's a good argument.
Better than Jim Johnson, better than Jim Schwartz.
Yeah, I love how you said Schwartz because Schwartz don't get enough credit. Schwartz was
Schwartz. That's more of my age group, but he does not like. Everybody leads off with Jim Johnson, and I think I did that formally. But Schwartz had a run, dude. Run, and there was a lot of times where he didn't have anybody back there.
No,
and they still made a run.
Yeah.
So
I was a big Schwartz fan. So we went from the sideline, and the aerial where Vic stays, but I mean, we got another one here for you guys. The two, the most important, going from the sideline again, the most important position on the field. And this one's a little bit different, right? You usually do the matchups, but I think the quarterbacks are important here to talk about because you have Hurts, who people feel need to prove himself time in and time out, with this quote unquote loaded offense. And then you got Purdy, again, Mr. Irrelevant, but somehow, some way, he's 7-1 this year, I think, or 7-2 because he just lost to Seattle. So I think this matchup of quarterbacks is who doesn't make the mistake, right? Is who's going to win in the quarterback duel between Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. We know, to your point earlier on, when it's time to play ball, we know what Jalen Hurts can do.
Yeah.
Right. And we've seen it time and time again. He's proven it time and time again. I personally don't think he needs to do anything Jalen Hurts-esque in this game, because I just think it's really a bad matchup for San Fran. But I think Purdy has a lot to prove because of the fact he was taken out of that game early. Now, they're not the same team they were. They don't have the dynamic playmakers that they did at receiver at that game. So it's going to be a little bit different. But I still think Purdy wants to prove that he would have been a difference in that game where he got knocked out by having a good game in this game. So
I watched that game last night. The 2022 NFC Championship.
Oh, where?
I really would like people to, if you're talking about, this, and I even said, these teams don't like each other because of certain players, but it's more of the leftover players between the two outside of those who are staples on both rosters.
Right.
It was kind of the young bulls that really got into it more than the old heads, because Fletcher Cox was on that team. Our starting linebackers were TJ Edwards and Kaiser White.
Epps was on that team too, I think.
Marcus Epps and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson were the starting safeties. James Bradbury, Darius Slay were the corners. Avonte Maddox played nickel. Your edge rushers were Brandon Graham and Josh Sweat. So we've come a long way since that game.
Mm-hmm.
I got a fun question for you.
What's up?
So, out of the top 14 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL this year,
mm-hmm.
I pose a question to you. How many made the playoffs? Have you seen this stat yet?
No, I haven't seen this stat.
So out of the top 14 highest paid quarterbacks, only 6 of which made the playoffs this year.
I was going to guess half. I was like maybe less than half.
Yeah, so you got obviously highest paid at $60 million. Dak Prescott, he did not make it. Jordan Love and Josh Allen at 55, they made it. Joe Burrow at 55 did not. Trevor Lawrence at 55 did. Tua 53.1 did not. Purdy 53 did. Jared Goff 53 did not. Justin Herbert 52.5 did. Lamar Jackson 52 did not. Jalen Hurts 51 did. The rest is Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes. They did not. What I wanted to speak about here on Hurts and Purdy is their contracts are actually like extremely similar. Like, it is insane to see how these contracts were structured. Total value of Jalen Hurts' contract was $255 million. The next person up from that would be Lamar at $260. And if you remember, those two were done one after another. The Eagles tend to get ahead of that QB market. And Brock Purdy's is actually $265. It's a whole $10 million over. So we talk about how these franchises are intertwined. Purdy's contract was set up off of Jalen Hurts's.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I genuinely believe that. Like, it was set up off of Jalen Hurts's. And I think that the two players are similar in a sense. I think that both of them elevate at their highest. All they do is win. Their production doesn't necessarily blow the stat sheets away, but they continue to do what they need to do. I don't necessarily think that we're banking on Brock Purdy not playing well this game, but I do believe that our defense will overwhelm, like you kind of hinted at earlier. It's McCaffrey, it's Kittle, it's Juszczyk. They don't have what they had in 2022, which was Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, they were loaded. They were loaded back then.
Yeah.
They just don't have that now. So
especially with Deebo, because Deebo and CMC, you could just do a lot of different stuff with them. They
could, and they just don't. They don't have that same.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they got who was it? Robinson and Jennings. Juszczyk.
Juwan Jennings is a player. He is. He's a hothead. He's a player. Tongas, the backup to Kittle's good. Juszczyk, obviously the fullback they use in a lot of different ways. Trent Williams is arguably the best left tackle of all time. There's a lot of talent on their team. They are just extremely banged up on defense. And unfortunately, in my opinion, the best player in the entire team, Fred Warner, we are unsure of his status for this game.
So supposedly what the word on the street is, and before we get back to Hurts and Purdy, is that he was slated to only come back for the NFC Championship game. That
I
was
read
the
some
time
stuff
to-
about that, and then they lost another linebacker in the most recent game.
Yeah. Is it Batoon? That's how his name is it? Who's that?
He got hurt, but then D. Winters got hurt too.
Yeah, and then the other outside linebacker got hurt too.
Yeah,
They're starting offensive. They're starting linebackers.
They're decimated at linebacker.
They're done.
Yeah.
They're cooked.
They would. You want to talk about a team that would kill for a Jahad Campbell or Nakobe Dean right now? They would kill for that. I mean, they're decimated there. They also are the last in the league in sacks. They only have 18 team sacks, led by their top edge rusher Bryce Huff. Huff and Keon White from the Patriots.
So I'm going to surprise you with this matchup. I actually think Purdy outplays Hurts in this game because I don't think Hurts needs to do anything for us to win this game.
Well, I think that's a given. I think anytime these two would go at each other, I think 9 times out of 10 Purdy's stats are going to look better. I think that's just more of like flow of game and the way that Purdy plays the Eagles. Yeah, I mean, I would say Hurts versus Purdy. I mean, if I had to pick one to start my franchise with, obviously I'm going to take Jalen.
Yeah,
it has
of course.
Nothing to do with me being a fan or whatever. It's just it comes down to Purdy's gonna outperform Jalen on Sunday. That's what's gonna happen. We just have to make sure that it doesn't result in a W for the Niners.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's
about it. I mean, Purdy's been throwing up 5 passing touchdowns like it's nothing. Now, if you watch the way they happen, it's not like they're throwing these deep balls and all.
Yeah, he had a great run, right? He had 10 touchdowns in 2 games, which was pretty sick.
Yeah, but then they played the Seahawks, a real defense.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened when you play a real defense.
Yep.
So,
and then speaking about those linebackers and defense, and I think you kind of alluded to this, and I kind of agree with this. I look back at the numbers on the Super Bowl run last year. 3 games, Saquon Barkley had 442 yards in 3 games and 5 touchdowns. It is
every game but the Super Bowl. That was 3 games.
Every game but the Super Bowl. It is absolutely vital, I think, to our success. And I've said this every year I'm on this show. I've said this in chats. To win in the playoffs, you got to play defense and you got to be able to run the ball. That's what you it never fails.
Yep.
Teams who make it all the way are typically ones who play defense and run the ball.
The Carolina Panthers are in the playoffs because they play defense and run the ball.
Correct.
So the league has shifted from this air raid style that everybody thought it was going to go to. And that's why Kyler Murray's not in the playoff and Jalen Hurts is.
Correct. And I think that's always been a mainstay in the playoffs. So it is vital. You talked about Dickerson. You talked about who's our center again? Damn, I forget his name. Juergens. You talked about Dickerson. You talked about Juergens. You talked about getting this offensive line to play at an elite level that we know that they can to get Saquon going. So for the next matchup, Saquon versus the San Francisco front. Now, I feel if Saquon does not go off in this game, we already kind of felt like the offensive line and the offensive run game, the run coordinators was a problem. I think it's even bigger of a problem with the decimation of their linebackers. If we commit to the run game again, too, because we do know that we tend to stay away. But if Saquon gets at least 20 carries in this game, there's no reason why he shouldn't have over 120 yards rushing.
I've actually really liked this new sentiment, and it's like I'm down to start a GoFundMe for it. It's 35 carries a game, 20 to 25 for Saquon, and 10 to 15 for Tank. And you can
really,
and you can go with it whichever way you want, right? But when I watched the Seahawks manhandle the Niners by just telling the linemen to just drive forward, and the second one of those RBs was tired, they said, "Yep, we're going to bring in the next one. Oh, Charbonnet, 2nd round pick. Yep, we're going to bring in Walker, 2nd round pick." And they just manhandled him, man. And I think that some people are forgetting that the last time we played this team in the playoffs, their defensive line looked like, I believe, Leonard Floyd at one of his higher points, DeForest Buckner, all-time defensive tackle, I'd say 2000s defensive tackle star, Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, Charvarius Ward, Jimmy Ward.
Too, right? Wasn't
you know, I mean, they
there?
were loaded, dude. They were loaded. They do not have those guys on this team. They are not playing. Fred Warner is out. Nick Bosa is out. They're not playing. Okay. Yeah. So their backups aren't as good. Their starting edge rushers are Keon White and Bryce Huff. Keon White at wash up from the Patriots. Bryce Huff, we should all know that story.
Yeah, we know that guy.
So who is not going to hit his 8 sacks on the season and move the Eagles from a 5th to 4th round pick. So fantastic incentive set there.
Saquon run, man. I mean, we have to win this matchup. I
think we do. You know, like I said, I think this is the game where he gets going. If he's ever going to get going, it's this game.
Yeah, because I don't, you know, 20. It's almost like Ricky Williams asked, right? 20 carries for like 75 yards, 80 yards. You know, they just force fed him so much that he got 100 yards just because of the carries he got. But I mean, they should be gashing this front literally in very exactly like the Seattle, 7 yards, 8 yards, a toss that went 3rd and 17 and they get it.
Yeah.
That is what we should get him on the edge, let him pick his spots and get upfield, do their counters, do some RPO action, get Jalen a little bit in there. Cause right now, Jalen used to be able to kind of put his foot in the ground and make people miss, but that is not happening anymore. I don't know what he does with this high step thing that he tries to do, where he kind of runs and then kind of stops, he's going to outrun somebody or something. But he
has never been fast. Ever.
Yeah, I don't get why he does
never been like college. Everything. He's never been fast. Jalen's always been a power runner.
Yeah,
and this little high step hezzy drives me insane.
Yeah, it is a high step hezzy.
I cannot stand it. It's high step hezzy, slide down. High step hezzy, slide down. Like, dude, at this point, they know when you high step hezzy, you're going down. Like,
you're not doing nothing, and you're not moving nowhere either.
Dude, that looks like a move that you do in 2-hand touch when you know you're about to get tagged. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, ooh. I mean, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
That's just, it drives me insane. But
Saquon, I think it is a key matchup that we have to win, because I feel like if we get into the spot where Saquon's not going off and we start passing, I think the crowd murmurs. I think the tension rises for no exactly right now. We can obviously pass against these guys because I think
you need a Washington start to this game, like NFC Championship Washington style. You need him to hit a big run, break a tackle, spin off something.
Yes, a good. You need to get him going. A good 30 yards.
Like I said, I would really like to see one of two things.
That 35 carries is crazy. I don't know if
not for him, not for just him. I'm saying
no. I know.
Between the two of them, like if we're gonna be this team, why not just buy into it? Like just go all in.
Just lean into it.
Well, I mean, you still have Shipley, you have AJ Dillon. We talked about the roster, the way that it's constructed a little bit earlier, and they are very heavy at running back.
Yeah,
almost as if they're built to make a long postseason run by running the football. And if Jalen is true into what he says, running the football will be the way that they win if the offensive line can hold up. So.
Yeah.
I mean, why give Saquon 30 carries in a game? You're going to need 30 to 35 to close the game out. So use Bigsby or Shipley as a closer, maybe even A.J. Dillon. He's like 257 pounds.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was the idea.
He got some play last game. He got some tech.
He did. He's a locker room cheerleader at this point. But
for sure.
Yeah, they just, he's like the one non-understandable roster spot. Him and Josh Uche not active every week for the past few weeks, but still here, just morale boosters. They've got to figure that out. I mean, I genuinely think they need to stop this cute shit with the pass game, because it didn't work with Jalen, didn't work with Tanner, who both looked oddly uncomfortable in this offense. Run the fucking ball. Just hand the ball off to 26. Let him do his thing. And if it doesn't work, hand the ball to 37. Because he's shown that it doesn't matter if he has a starting offensive line or backup offensive line. The kid produces.
Yeah, I mean, they won't do that, but we'll see.
They won't because you gave this kid $21 million to play running back after one good season and wanted to reset the entire market.
Yeah, I mean, it was just the greatest running back season ever, so it's okay.
No, it was.
That's okay. And they got us a ring, so I'm okay with it.
Yep,
I'm okay with it.
That's all we need. I'll be happy about it.
So it's kind of interesting though that we talk about the linebackers and the injuries that we have that the Niners have, but we also have some linebacker issues as well. And I think Kittle is going to be a big part of this game plan. Obviously CMC is kind of obvious, but I think you got to get George Kittle going. If you're Shanahan, you got to get him in the game. You got to get him disruptive, and you got to take advantage of Campbell, right? I don't think
Kittle's the number one receiver.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Kittle's the number one receiver. Yeah. I guess the word
is out of all the pass catching, they have to win that matchup. Like they have to win the Kittle matchup, in my opinion, because I don't think they're going to win anything with was it Ricky Pearson? Is that his name?
Pearsall, yeah, he's supposed to play, but he can't stay healthy. So.
Yeah, and then
he plays.
Jawan Jennings, I don't think is going to be anything of a factor against. I mean, they might put him against Adoree, and he might be able to do a little bit against Adoree, but they're not putting him against. Does Jennings even? Jennings does move around a little bit. I think he does move around. He doesn't.
Yeah, they don't have like a bona fide. Yeah. Mitchell's not going to be following.
I don't think Mitchell's going to follow him either.
No.
Yeah,
Mitchell's going to play one side of the field. Adoree's going to play the other. And Cooper's going to carry the nickel, and they're gonna stick to that pretty heavy. If I had to guess, you're probably going to see them bracket Kittle on most plays. So maybe between Cooper and Reed, they've done that a lot this year. That's been a pretty good tight end stopper. They did that with Brock Bowers. So I would assume they'd probably do something similar.
But hold on, but I would rather have a safety or even Cooper follow CMC around than the kind of bracket Kittle.
It's kind of the problem you have that you dealt with the Raiders is that, Genty was a rushing threat, but he hadn't proven it yet, but he also wasn't a passing threat.
Yeah.
So you could bracket Bowers and not really worry about it,
Yeah.
The fact that CMC poses such a receiving threat.
He's going to have 7 to 9.
He's going to line around everywhere.
Catches.
So I think at that point, they just let him do what he does. Put him on an island. And if he has to beat the man in front of him and he does, so be it. I think that you stop the bleeding more with Kittle because most of the plays that involve McCaffrey are going to keep the clock going and are usually going to be non-home run hits.
Yeah.
So you just take the bleeding with him and you have to shut down Kittle.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I
think when Kittle's not going, they're not doing anything. Like if you notice when he got hurt, it changed everything for them. They rely heavily on his presence.
Yes.
Because he's great in the run game. He's a great blocker in the run game. He's an excellent receiver. And I mean, he's just an all-out tough guy. Like, I mean, Kittle is one of the best in the business, if not the best.
Yeah, and I put Kittle's pitch up here just because I mean I think I don't think I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers about where he's at from a prop perspective. I think he does have some success against us just because he's such a great player, and I think
it's kind of like a volume thing. Like they're gonna you have to take like we were just talking about. Do you want to set Coop or maybe I guess if Nakobe's not going to play Jihad, just to follow Christian. You could do that, or or you shut down Kittle. You have to bracket one of the two. One of the two has to be bracketed because you're going to tell these other receivers to beat you. That's what it's going to be. You're going to use one of these two as a focal point, and Fangio is going to make the decision as to which one causes less bleeding throughout the game. In my opinion, it would be McCaffrey just because I feel like you can contain him into like the way that they contained Jahmyr Gibbs when they played the Lions, and they bracketed St. Brown. So I think that you do that with Kittle because Kittle can kill you on that little short shit. Those little.
And he's so great yards, yards after catch.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying if he's constantly being hit at the line and then swarm tackled, like it it's going to wear on the player. I mean, that's
I mean, they're coming off a tough Seattle game where they were flying around.
Yeah,
Seattle was hitting
Seattle
them.
flies around. I mean, if there's one player that I could say, everybody wants to say DeJean's the best nickel in football. As long as Devin Witherspoon is lined up in the nickel, DeJean ain't better than him. DeJean is excellent, very, very, very good. But Devin Witherspoon is a stud. And what he's doing, working with Ernest Jones and Drake Thomas over there at linebacker, I mean, they don't have the biggest names in the world, but they are awesome. I am very impressed to watch them play defense.
Yeah, so I think Kittle, Kittle's got to win that matchup, and I would lean Kittle.
Kittle's going to, depending on what Fangio responds with.
Yeah, he's going to lean.
But he's going to get his, whether it's 10 for 60 or whether it's 5 for 115. He's going to get his.
And, I mean, just on the other side, right? Tight end right?
Yeah.
We talked about these linebackers being banged up and being hurt for San Fran. I mean, this is a clean picture, too. Goddard's looks almost like AI-esque, right? It was almost AI like. Goddard's got to be Goddard. Now, I'm also hearing, and let me know if you know that this was like that injury that he has with his knee or his calf was kind of like legit. Like he didn't practice a lot last week, so he might be coming in. He's not going to be 100% coming in this game. It doesn't sound like.
No, and I don't know because you can't determine that. I mean, even if you were best friends with the agent, they wouldn't give you that information. But I don't know if it's the same knee he's had issues with over the years.
Mm-hmm. And Calcaterra's hurt too.
I think Calcaterra's done. I don't know for a fact. I don't know. I mean, he's pretty hard to garner information on. But yeah, I mean, he was hip dropped. I can't believe they didn't call a penalty.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't call that.
That was a blatant hip drop.
Yeah,
that resulted in a foot, ankle / knee injury. I mean, the Eagles listed it as knee / ankle. Yeah. Calcaterra looked to be in immediate pain. I just with Goddard's injuries, he's always had little ticky tacky BS. He's always just,
Well, this is the first time he played I think he's played every game, right? Is this first time he's played every game this season?
Maybe this year. I'm not sure.
Yeah, always got to love. Well, it's not a contract year because they do a 1 year thing, but it's kind of like,
all they did was, they just to gloss over this, they essentially, he was due $14 million in guaranteed money, and they wanted him at 10, and he said no. And then he explored the trade market, and the teams that were interested in him were not who he wanted to play for. And the compensation didn't agree with the Eagles. So they re-met at the table and agreed to $10 million fully guaranteed. Josh Sweat did the exact same thing last offseason. So this is something that they've done.
Yeah, no, he played his way into a contract. I think he was like, top 3 in touchdowns this year or something.
And he's 31 right now. So I don't know if they're going to extend him long term. I think most people within league circles believe that he will be playing for a new team next year, although they thought the exact same thing last year or this year. So
they could draft a tight end.
Yeah, they need to. I think they're overdue for solidifying that position because after Goddard, they are severely. It's a bad drop off.
And it's a great point that you brought that up. That it's such a bad drop off because I think this offense looks completely different if he's not playing.
Well, I think they have 2 styles. I think they have the style of which they run the ball and they go through Goddard, and then they have this weird air raid, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith only target session that never seems to work, where they run hitch routes, sluggos, and slants, and it never seems to work. But for some reason, when they run this 12 personnel where Goddard leaks out, and does this, and then they run the football and they run the RPO and they get a little fancy with it. Goddard seems to feast and the offense seems to thrive. And I was pretty,
and Hurts looks for him too. It's not like Hurts not looking for him.
I mean, dude, he led the team in receiving yards in the playoff run last year. Led the team. So, I mean, I think it's kind of silly to be surprised that, when the offense goes through him, he breaks the record for tight end touchdowns. And I think that's kind of his argument to the team. Everybody keeps asking Dallas to be a team player, be a team player, be a team player. And that's the kind of guy he is. I don't know if you've ever met him, but he's a very laid back dude. He's not about, to get all riled up. But I tell you what, he ain't stupid. He's about his money. And
no, I mean, I get it.
He's deserved to be paid. I mean, this offense has ran through him this year.
1 year, yeah.
Not just 1 year, man. Every year we've been to the playoffs, he's the leading receiver because when it comes down to the crunch time, who does Hurts look at? Who does Hurts trust? It's not AJ. It's Dallas. It's not AJ. I mean, he wants to be that guy so bad, but you don't run those routes. Dallas runs the underneath stuff. Yeah. Dallas is willing to get hit and knocked out. And kind of think that's why Smith gets to get some of the benefits that he gets because he's willing to get that dirty work in.
Yeah. I mean, I can't argue with some of that stuff. I think Dallas's value in the playoffs, I think, is undeniable. I cannot say that, and he was a big reason for last year. Like, and we kind of talked about it right earlier on, talking about Saquon. You run the ball, you get the ball to Dallas Goedert, good things happen.
Goddard's had weird injuries too, man. He like broke his forearm on a.
Yeah, that was a bad. But I think I remember seeing that live. He got dragged down by a couple of people, and his arm.
Yeah, he was fighting. His play style results in injuries.
Yeah.
A player that's about as similar as it gets. I mean, there was that talk for a while about Avonte Maddox and even Gardner Johnson, that their small frame and the way that they played, same could be said about Andrew Makuba, who's dealing with a broken ankle, that these little dudes that hit like Mack trucks can't stay on the field. Yeah. And the same could be said for George Kittle, who can't stay on the field because he's an aggressive, overly brute force tight end. And those dudes who I think that you would agree the league needs more than the league needs those tight ends more than the tight ends need the league. Right. I mean, these guys are essential to the run game. They're essential to the pass game.
They are.
And they get mauled.
Yeah.
And they deal with some injuries. And I think that, when you play like Kelsey, you get a long career nowadays in the tight end game. But when you play like Goddard and Kittle, dude, you're in your early 30s and you're dealing with broken bones. I mean, these are warriors.
No, they are. All right, so we made it through everything, man. Everybody kind of jumping in and out, and if you guys are still here with us, I see people coming and jumping in and out, man. I appreciate it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Throw a score in the chat. Let me know. We're going to do it right now. Eagles, Niners, predictions. Whew. What you got for me, bro? I got to think about it. I didn't really get – I knew I was going to ask the question, but I didn't think about what I thought this score was going to be. I don't think there's any weather factors.
They opened as a push.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's dropped down a little bit. Might be 40, 45, even 44 and a half.
Yeah, opened at 45 and a half with a 3.5 point spread. Yeah, 45 and a half. That's they are not banking on a lot of points. And I kind of agree with it, man. Like I could see, instead of starting off with a score, I'm going to say this is the way this game goes. I think that what we talked about earlier happens. I think that they break one early with the run game. Mm-hmm. Maybe force a turnover. And I think that they're looking at a similar situation to what they dealt with Buffalo. I think they're looking at a situation where they're up and they have to make the decision to either go conservative or just put the foot on the gas pedal. And I think with San Francisco, they put that foot on the gas pedal. Mm. I think they do. And the scoreboard from the last time they played in the NFC Championship, that 31-7 or whatever, I don't think reflected the entire game. Mm-hmm. Because while they did win that game handedly, it was a long, drawn out, kind of shit show fest of a game. There were things that weren't pretty from our side. There were things that weren't pretty from their side. We just ended up capitalizing on those moments. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go 23, Eagles 23, San Francisco 16. San Francisco has the ball on a game-winning drive. They turn the ball over at the end.
It's funny, man. You said score. I was gonna go 24-15.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. It's gonna be 24-15. I agree that I don't think there's gonna be a lot of scoring here. I think you're gonna, similar to what you said with the Bills. I think the Eagles get out fast. I think the Eagles get up pretty early, and then they let San Fran linger, right? And
San Fran's gonna have their little run. They're gonna have a little thing that happens, maybe a break in coverage or something, that results in a play.
I could see it being 21-0 at first half, and then San Fran outscores us in the second half. To your point, maybe end of a drive, or we only make a field goal and San Fran scores 17 points or something in that second half. I like us, from a betting perspective, Eagles first half for sure. But also I think that I don't think San Fran's going to score a lot of points, and if they do, it'll be in a little bit garbage time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Shanahan offenses tend to kill in those late, like 2-minute drives.
Right. Yeah.
Even like with the game not on the line, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like they feast.
Yeah. So Bill, so we got we got the Eagles, and hopefully we get a win. I think the Rams win, and then Green Bay, Chicago could be up in the air, but I'm hoping Green Bay wins.
We need to
I actually hope Chicago wins. And I mean, send LA to Seattle, and we'll go to Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
that would be ideal.
LA is the team to beat. So
for sure, I said that before. If LA comes here, and even if we go there, but if we face and see the Rams, it's a 50-50 game. It's a 50. I'm telling you right.
Every other game, I'd give at least 51 to the Eagles. Outside of the Rams, it's 50-50.
Yeah, it's 50-50.
In the NFC, of course. But that's there'd be no question.
All right, so here's the road to the promised land again. Everybody's 0-0 right now. So
I don't know how we're gonna fit 3 of those Roman numerals behind us on the screen here, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. If there's another one up there, we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? For myself, I'm Moss Money. That's Ernie B. It is the road back to the throne. This is Victory Mondays. We see you guys next week. Hopefully talking more Eagles and not draft talk. I don't want to talk draft talk right now. More Eagles.
God, or OC talk. You're going to get Stefanski if we lose. It's not going to happen.
Right. Nah, we're out of here. See you guys later. Good night.